No, I tell you all the time that you need to make your way over to the forum. People think I'm crazy. You need to get over there. AYSSnetwork.com/forum. LSU is making some headway in some other spots. You would have known that 8 hours ago when we posted it. Nevertheless, we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. Hope all of you are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Very big show in store for you here tonight. In case you missed the news, there was big news today and I know that we talked about this last week. I know we led off the show with this last week about baseball and football and scholarships being added. What is the potential for LSU now that football can have 105 scholarships? Now that you're going to have 34 baseball scholarships that Jay Johnson can utilize if fully funded. I think it's going to be pretty hard for Scott Woodward not to be able to do that for him. So we'll talk about that. Me and my buddy Carter Bryant should have brought this up Monday on the show. We did not, but he talked about maybe some biggest sleepers on LSU this year, guys that are having good off seasons. And I'm like, you know what, damn it, I have not done this either. And we talked about a guy like Dylan Carpenter, but are there a couple of more guys that are having very big off seasons that maybe that we have not talked about that has gained some buzz around Baton Rouge? We'll talk about that here tonight. Have you seen Hard Knocks? I love the Hard Knocks offseason, like going through the day-to-day of the draft and preseason camp and like for the Giants, who Hard Knocks is all about, the free agency with Saquon Barkley, but mainly due to the fact watching Hard Knocks this offseason, or that's what it's called, Hard Knocks offseason, with the New York Giants, is all this stuff that's coming out with Malik Neighbors. I am fascinated, absolutely fascinated by watching the Giants front office talk about an LSU player. Hearing what the NFL has seen, what the NFL is seeing in LSU's team a year ago is grade one, top tier, ribeye steak at Gallagher's or Supper Club. Or, I mean, there's a lot of good steak places. You get my point. Top premier content, Hard Knocks all season, and they're not even paying us. I just got to tell the truth, the way that I see it. The last two nights, we were going to go around your SEC. We didn't get to it. Tonight, we're going to do it. I promise you, we're going to do it. I'm going to throw you a hint about something. Are the Missouri Tigers the sleeper team in the SEC that people don't realize? Did Blake Baker have a lot of talent at Missouri? Yes. We talked about this on the Ruffino and Joe show, but I want to mention maybe some teams 2 through 6. We still have not talked about the ranking from the media of LSU being at number 5. We'll talk about that here tonight. I thought it was really interesting. Nevertheless, we are live. Let's get to a couple of these comments in here in the Rudy Crew chat. Alexandria says, hey, Blake, watching from Corpus Christi, Texas, originally from the 318. She says she's going to Vegas to watch LSU and USC. Yeah, man. I know a lot of people that are talking about going. It's going to be fun. Todd Davis is in the house, the 504 stand up. The 504 stand up. Todd says the Great Western Forum. No. AYSSnetwork.com/forum. You know, some buzz flying around right now about Jonah Williams. I think you're going to need to get familiar with what's going on with Bayou Traditions, with TAF, the combination of that, what LSU's doing in recruiting, man. It's a great time to be alive right now. Jay Johnson being the little pit bull that he is. The little pit bull. Paul Franks, 337 Ville Platte, stand up. 985 Playa says, Jack K, good to have you both in here with us. Edward is in the 337. And let's see if we got another one. I think I missed it. No. It was me seeing Aaron Miller. Go effing Tigers. Good to have you in here too, Aaron Miller. I've been working on my my Trump impersonations when he does the billions and billions. There you go again. Connor Plochet, the 225 Walker, stand up. Good to have you in here with us. Bryant, the 870, is in the house. Jasper, Arkansas. Good to have you with us too. Looking forward to tonight. All right. Let's get rolling. I hate when I'm in group chats during the show when they go off. I hate them. Nate E says horribly Trump impersonation. Very fair. I do not do them good. I do not do good impersonations. I do some of them. Like people say that your boy can do a good Forrest Gump. Lieutenant Diane Ice Cream. Anthony B. Saint says, ask Blake, do you even think he makes it to a college campus, being that he's expected to hear his name early in the MLB draft? I don't know. I think that you will, because the kid is really dead set on playing football. The kid really wants to play college football, and I think he's going to make the amount of money in NIL that, okay, I'm going to take this, play both, and then have options. I think he's that special, if I'm being real with you. So if you don't know, we're talking about Jonah Williams, the 5-star, I'm going to call him a safety. The kid wants to play safety, 6'3", 205 from Galveston, Texas. We talked about this last night, but is going to be in the Bayou Splash on Friday. Don't know what the Bayou Splash is. It's when LSU puts a big party together for recruits, guys that will be uncommitted, guys that are committed. I think Bryce Underwood was going to make it, had an incident that he couldn't, but Bryce Underwood's been here more times than we can count. Maybe he does make his way, who knows? But you're going to have a lot of talent there. By the way, the number one player in the country for the 2026 class, Jakeem Stewart's going to be there. Big time in recruiting. Got to give a tip of the cap to Austin Thomas, man. At some point, you got to talk about, hey, what they're doing potentially in NIL has been a very, very big deal. Connor says, Blake, how much weight have you lost? You looking good, dude. Thank you. I appreciate that. 50 pounds, actually about 48, 49, but I just rounded up to 50. Around 49 pounds, yes. Got the trap game working. Got to get lean. Beach bodies. I got to get a beach body. Me and the wife wanting to go to Jamaica. You know what I mean? You got to get the beach body down. You can't be taking pics and looking – you can't look bad. I will tell you. I've told you this before. These people don't pay me, whoever's over the carnivore diet. Guys, it is fantastic. Been very strict on it. When I'm at home, like me and my wife went to New York last week, I was not – even though I kind of was, I had one of those bagels. I had John's on Bleecker Street, the pizza parlor. But man, it's been really good. About 10 pounds a month is what I've lost so far. So it's been awesome. Thank you so much for asking. I don't even really know if people notice. I feel like people notice it more because the beard's trimmed down more, slimmer face. But no, 50 pounds, man. And we're going to continue. Aaron Miller says, thought I saw Stewart say he won't be on a college campus this weekend. He might not, but they got him on the list as intending. So we'll see. Maybe he is not. David says, how does NIL work in the sense of this kid? How does he get a deal from baseball and football? I think the school and the collective and people would just do one for him. I think that funds that you normally would have allocated for baseball can be split with football if you need to justify why a kid is going to get a ridiculous amount. I have talked to someone here local who's been in an MLB front office. Talked to him today. Talked to him yesterday. And he said that he just, even though the kid is absolutely ridiculous, the kid wants to play football. Wants to play football. So there have been a lot of comparisons out to him. Once said, just like Dion. Guys, I've had the guy that I'm talking about on this show before. So I'm just mincing words to a little bit. I don't know if he's necessarily Dion because the build is different. Jonah Williams is 6'4", could be a linebacker, man, but could come in here and hit 21 runs for you too. I will tell you this. I know that there's a lot of optimism. I have a lot of optimism for Jonah Williams myself at this current moment. However, Oregon and A&M and Oklahoma are not going to back down. The kid is in a prime spot right now because of how good he is in both. And I think that is what sets him apart as well. Todd says, Blake, I hope you are doing a lot of cardio with your diet. I do 20 minutes on the bike every day and then lift for about 25 to 30 minutes. Mainly around 25. But I've been going 4 days a week. Look, man, it's fantastic. It has been fantastic. So, yeah. All right, let's get rolling. We got a lot to get to. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all those groups. If you are on Facebook, share to all of your social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Let's talk about our good friends over at betonline.ag. Our good friend Tyler Alexander, who, by the way, they're Making Moves podcast. You can find them at Making Moves 225. Absolutely fantastic. Go over there and subscribe there too. In the meantime, you need some real estate sold. You're looking for a home, he could do it. Let's talk about him and our good friends over at J&J Exterminating. Let's get all into it. Stay with us. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 60 years.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say it once because we got a lot of sports that we need to talk about. I pray for this country, man. Christian, non-Christian, whatever your religion, white, black, no matter your race, I pray for this country. I wish that we were more unified than we are. It's just saying things like, guys, during the break, I just go and scroll through Twitter, make sure that we didn't miss anything. Okay. Like there's no breaking news, nothing happens. And it's just filled so much with people going at one each other's necks. Why can't we sit down and just have unity? Why can't we have a conversation? Why does everything have to be so just like fight about this, fight about that? Like we all want the same thing. We want America to be amazing. We want to raise a country or have a country where our kids can be proud of, and we've done a good job. I'm not saying that we're innocent in everything that we've done, but Jesus, I mean, come on, dude. That's why I'm not on social media like that anymore. I'll post what I want to post, maybe scroll down a couple of things. Guys, I promise you, I am not on social media other than to talk about sports. Very rarely throughout the day. If something breaks, then something breaks. Go about it. I'll put something on the message board. I'll share it out. Let's have at it. But in reference to just being on social media, God, man, it's such a toxic place sometimes. All right. It's not what you're here for. Guys, we got a lot of really big news today. Now, we talked about this last week, but it's very significant, obviously, for the big dogs in college football, college baseball. What am I talking about? We talked about last week that scholarships in baseball are going to be brought up from 11.7 to midway through the 30s, as Greg Sankey said at SEC Media Days. Officially, it's going to be 34, but football is going from 85 scholarship limit to 105. So many things are changing here, with the school probably going to have to ante up more than they ever have in TV revenue share and potential more scholarships. Good on them. I mean, you are making $60+ million a year in TV revenue money. Can't be hoarding that like you used to. But let's talk about the on-field thing and what is going to happen here, in my opinion. In case you missed it, Ross Dellinger reporting that football is moving to 85 to 105. Let's start with football very quickly. Guys, there are so many 3-stars and so many under-recruited players in football, and especially in this state, that now that you move from a roster from 85 to 105, that guy that was on the borderline, that kid that you didn't know if in this state could, you need to evaluate his senior year, you're on the cusp of offering, but maybe you don't want to. Guys, you can offer that kid now because you're not hard pressed to that 85 number. Guys, 105 is very significant. And I think that you're going to utilize and fill all of them. With 20 extra players, how many more, 5 stars, because you have 4 of them that you have in this class right now, if you're in the high school ranks, how many more of those type of guys can you go and get? So, yeah, I do think that it's a very big deal. I also think it's a very big deal that that kid that's borderline, he's maybe going to Houston, he's maybe going to Tulane, but he's actually, you think that he's going to take 1, 2, 3 years to develop. You can take that kid now, develop him under what you have been doing, and you don't have to worry about cutting the kid or having to process the kid if it doesn't work out. You get to actually develop players. Now, I'm assuming that head coaches are like, man, I'm adding 20 more players to my roster. Excuse me. Well, majority of you go through the spring at least having 90 to 95 and then processing some of those guys out or kicking them off your team to get to that 85 scholarship limit. You're doing it anyway. To some extent, you're just cutting down to 85 when you got to hit the season and start the season. Guys, 20 is a lot. And I don't know what you're going to do with walk-ons. I don't know how many more you're going to be allotted. I didn't really check into that. Maybe some of those guys will get scholarships for being there as long as they have. But, man, when you can legitimately take all of the really good and just good players in your state, it changes things for LSU. you can see and watch a kid get developed over a 3 and 4 year span if they want to. That's the thing that I am most happy about for a school like LSU. Now, I understand that this state is filled with G5 mid-major programs, FCS programs. It's littered everywhere. And today is a bad day for them because the guy that LSU was keeping their eyes on to see if that he would make a big push in their senior year, they don't have to worry about taking the kid if they want him. Now, I'm not saying that every kid is going to not want to go and get playing time at ULL and not want to come to LSU. That is going to happen. But if LSU starts recruiting the way that they're recruiting and they want to take a kid, the likelihood of them beating out ULL for a player is pretty high. Actually, it's very high in football. But it hurts them because you can take that player now. It also helps you with depth. And I think more than LSU potentially taking a dude from ULL, like, could you imagine Trey Harris and Kyron Lacey being recruited in those years that they came out and saying, hey, man, we could develop this kid. We have a spot for this kid. Well, Kyron Lacey went to ULL because of that reason. And when he got the opportunity to come to LSU, he did. That hurts your depth so much if you're a ULL or a Louisiana Tech or any FCS program. But if you're LSU and the team that we cover the most, because the depth that you're going to be able to add with 20 more players is ridiculous. Could you imagine 2 more running backs? Could you imagine 2 more wide receivers? Could you imagine 2 more offensive line? By the way, I'm just at 6 total players. Could you imagine 2 more dudes that you could have offered scholarships to along the defensive line, edge, linebacker, safety, corner? You get what I'm saying here. All the kids that you had to process at the end of last year, you didn't have to do. You could have let them stay here and develop and work with them. Now, other teams are going to have that advantage too. And I think more than ever, it is crucial. And I know that it hurts, it sucks for staffs who are having to recruit. But, man, if you're going to get to that 100, 105 scholarship limit and you're going to fund all of it, it puts more on your plate. But it's more crucial than ever to find that 3-star that's not going to go to ULL that can shine for you and come in and be really good. It's a big day for the Tigers in football, man. I don't know if you agree. I will check some of the comments right here to see. But I would think that a lot of you agree with that. It's interesting because I see Brian Turner's comment here, and he's talking about Xavion Thomas. Guys, you didn't take Xavion Thomas coming out of John Ehret. He goes to Mississippi State. That kid right there is what I'm talking about. A dude that goes to Mississippi State that normally, if you offered, is going to be at LSU. That is what I'm talking about. Could you have imagined Xavion Thomas, who had a punt and kick return for Mississippi State, if he's returning the punt against Florida State that Malik dropped? How much of a difference does that make? And we all know Malik Neighbors is one of the premier dudes ever at LSU. Still dropped a punt. I know that Florida State didn't score in 22. Doesn't matter. If you feel that you go down the score, changes the game when you turn the football over at any given moment. Great day for LSU. Horrible day if you're a mid-major. I feel like it's going to be the exact same, though, when you talk about baseball going from 11.7 scholarships to 34. I know that there's been, I think 64 Analytics came out with this and said that, 6,000 players will be cut because you could have had a roster limit of 35 actually. So let me break this down from baseball. In baseball, you could have 35 players on your roster. Now, not all of them are going to get scholarships, but you could have 35 on your roster. Well, now what the NCAA is doing is if that you want to fund it, you can do this. Now you can have 34 full ride scholarships that's going to cut a player that would normally be on the roster. 6,000 total baseball teams. You're cutting one kid from your class. Sucks. I get it. Whatever. We're here to talk about LSU. Can you imagine Jay Johnson with 34 full ride scholarships? And before Scott Welbert says a thing, he better fund every single one of them if Jay wants it, and he will. Let's not act like he won't. He will do that. He 1,000% will. Let me ask you a question. With gaining a full scholarship, which I'm sure that William Schmidt was always going to get, but a kid like William Schmidt getting now or potentially now having a full ride and with NIL enacted to it, how much is that weighing in on his decision to come here? Because, guys, let's call it what it is when it comes to a Major League Baseball draft. Money talks and bullshit walks. You cannot convince me that William Schmidt didn't have a very high number, and if he would have gotten that number, he would have gone. Because there's a certain number that you just can't walk away from. What we do know, however, is that LSU is going to be competitive in the money that he's going to make here in NIL. It's undeniable of that truth. But how many kids are you going to start seeing like a William Schmidt come here? Every single year, Jay Johnson, every single year has been the coach that has gotten a player out of high school that was the highest rated kid out of high school not to go to the draft and has come to LSU. Cam Johnson, Chase Shores, and now it's William Schmidt. We know what Chase Shores was. Cam Johnson goes to Oklahoma, which they have a really good pitching staff over at Oklahoma. Clayton Kershaw's actual pitching coach is Skip Johnson, the head coach at Oklahoma. You get my point. Let me ask this question. That kid that is going to ULL, that kid that is going to Southeastern, Nichols, the Braden Joe Bears of the world, do they go there if LSU can provide them a full ride scholarship? Do they? And I think that is the point that I am trying to make here, is that it's going to hurt those mid-major programs. LSU is going to fund all 34. I don't give a shit what anybody tells you. Jay Johnson is going to get what he wants, and they're going to provide it for him. Because that man can go on a legit dynasty run. Like I think Tony Vols in Tennessee is going to do it. Arkansas is going to do it. Florida is going to do it. SEC baseball just got tougher. Texas A&M is going to do it. It's going to make for some really, really bigly, really good college baseball. So as much as, I think that football was a big deal in gaining 20 scholarships, I don't think it touches anywhere close to what baseball is going to do. Because of a kid like the starting shortstop at Ole Miss, or if a kid at Nichols, Jacob Myers, wants to come to LSU, you can provide them a full ride scholarship to come here, get them in the portal, easy peasy lemon squeezy. I just think it's a game changer, man. I don't think ULL is going to fund all 34. I highly doubt that they will. They may be competitive and do 20, 25, 30, maybe at max 25, 30. They ain't going to fund all 34. They ain't going to put the resources into it like that. At least I don't think that they will. Maybe I'm wrong. There were some other sports that gained some scholarship limits too. Not going to run through them. But look, just a massive addition for football and baseball. And the way that you are recruiting at the current moment, makes me feel a lot better about what you're doing and what you will have doing. Now, our good buddy, Mike Scarborough over at tigerbait.com sent us a $5 super chat. A $5 super chat. Is he predicting LSU is going to go 11-1? Is he convinced that LSU is going 11-1? He puts it right here in the chat, our good friend. Mike's going to be live immediately following our show. Thank you so much, Mike. Mike was actually at the B-Day party. Gave me the restaurant recommendation. Thought it was really good. Actually, Modesto's, I got to admit, Modesto's was really good. In Baton Rouge, right there next to LSU. Very, very good spot. And I'm not like, my wife asked me this. I love Mexican food, by the way. But I love a restaurant like that. Like Modesto's, you can drink, you have drinks, some margaritas. I don't do frozen margaritas. I don't mind a margarita on the rocks, though. I will admit. Fun place to be, man. Food was good. I didn't like their chips and salsa, really, if I'm being honest. They put like paprika on the chips. People say they love them. I was not a fan. Now, maybe that had to do with that I've just been on carnivore for 5 months and that I used to be a very big chip eater. Like, you know how people do desserts and snacks and like fudge cakes? Not me. Your boy was a big like Cheez-It, Lay's potato chips, trail mix was another big thing. I love chips. Chips and salsa used to be one of my favorite go-to meals, believe it or not. I love some chips and salsa. Just didn't like it, man. Just didn't like it. All right, let's get to a couple more before we get to our next topic here. Anthony B. Saint says, Blake, Florida scares me, not the team, but being in the swamp. Could be, man. Yeah, Florida's a tough place to play. Always has been, always will be. It's a good point. But, excuse me, man, they're just, I don't know. I don't think they have the talent. Robert Collins says, Blake, any word on how we don't get the 4-star from New Iberia? Yeah, go to the forum, ayssnetwork.com/forum. We've got to get those guys right, or am I overthinking it? No, you're not overthinking it. Look, Robert, I think you bring up a very good point. You're talking about Jabari Antoine that committed to Miami over LSU. I think this gets lost, and people say, yeah, but. Just listen to your boy for just a minute. Listen to your boy for just a moment. Nobody is arguing that getting DJ Pickett committed here is not an absolutely massive deal. No one. No one is making that argument. However, when someone like myself states you can't lose the top DB from this state to another school, people are like, yeah, but we got Pickett. Yeah, but we got Pickett. Guys, I don't know if you realize this. Recruiting is the lifeblood that fuels the dreams of champions. And you can't have one corner in your class. You can't. You just simply can't. Now, do I think Jabari Antoine can make a different decision come December? Yes. Same with DJ Pickett. Anybody could. You just can't lose the kid. I've heard people say that they think he's a safety, but the kid wants to play corner. Guys, let the kid want to come in and prove that he can play something if he's that talented. Well, do you think he's a really good safety? Yeah, I think he could be a really good safety. Well, then fucking take him. Stop having – listen. Let me just say this. We look up to coaches and don't realize that they are normal dudes like you and I. When I talk to them, they are normal dudes. The conversations that they have are mind-blowingly dumb in any building, whether that's LSU, Georgia, Florida, wherever. It's crazy to me at times, especially in recruiting, what gets people hung up on things. Well, this coach doesn't like him, but this coach does like him. Well, okay, why doesn't he like him? Well, he thinks he can play. He just doesn't think he's a corner. Okay, so both of you like him? Yeah. All right, well, then shut the fuck up and go get him. That's the thing. Those are the things that make me more angry. And the people that deny that this stuff goes on around the country, LSU included, people that deny that are massively naive. Massively naive about what coaches talk about day in and day out and what goes on in these buildings. Do you think the kid can play? Yes or no? Yes. Then shut the fuck up and go get it. Those are the small little tidbits that make me blow up. And then you'll have fans out here saying, yeah, let's go. We got this dude. And you got to look at the big picture. The people that don't look at the big picture of things and can't see the big picture of things are the people that come in here and say, yeah, but we got this dude, and this is why we're going 10-2, 11-1. And do no other research. You can do that because you're a fan. It's not my fault that you're too narrow-minded to see the big picture. You got to get more corners. And if anybody wants to argue that, they're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. They're an idiot. Because you would not allow any position group, and this isn't just an LSU thing, you wouldn't allow any position group to get away with this. You wouldn't do it. If you think that you would do it, you're lying to yourself. You're an idiot. J.J. Pickett, massive news. You got to land the number one DB in your state, especially after what happens when you land, historically, when you land the number one DB in your state. There, I said it. All right. Joe says we lost Hootie Jones to Bama and got Jamal Adams, but you replaced it. Joe, you're the reason that I say this. Who's going to play the other boundary corner? Answer me this. In this recruiting class, who's your other boundary corner right now that you have committed? I'm not saying that you're not going to do that. I'm not. But you have a corner that's 6'4", 185 pounds. 6'4" corners don't historically play in the NFL. They don't. They get moved to safety. All right. Josh with the $199 super chat says Jonah Williams announcement on August 24th. That's why y'all got to be on the forum. All right. Let's get to a quick break. Biggest surprise on LSU is we'll talk about that next. Let's pay some bills. And thank you, Josh, again for the super chat. Stay with us. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Foss and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with a great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Foss has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 60 years.
Call him today, make pests go away. J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
All right. So yesterday, our good buddy Carter Bryant brought this up on his show, and it was something that me and him were talking all show, and it prompted me to want to talk about this. We do this every year. I don't know how I missed it. Maybe we just got lost in the weeds on some things. But normally in the middle of July, you and I discuss about players that are having some really good off seasons. We put up write-ups. I'll never forget this. Last year, everything that I heard coming out of the off season was two things. Number one, how Jaden Daniels has put on weight and how he's attacking downfield, and Malik Neighbors. There were a lot of other things that I heard throughout the summer that did pan out to play very well. Like Caleb Jackson is one of the more talented human beings on the roster. Can he figure some things out? I'm trying to. Brian Thomas is going to take that next step. He is going to be an elite wide receiver. I think that, you knew about Will Campbell, Emory Jones. There is somebody that has been brought up that a lot of people have talked about, and both of them are at the edge position. Dylan Carpenter is somebody who was a guy that LSU offered late a couple of years ago, and he committed to LSU. And I'm sure that you've seen him and the transformation that he had during the offseason, a lot of weight that he gained. But the kid has been very athletic, and a lot of people have loved the offseason that he's had. One coach today, or one person, or one source told me today that he might be one of the biggest risers in reference to what offseason he has. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means when it comes to what he produces on the field, how much action does he see. But in the weight room and things that he's doing in like agility training, him through all the workouts and some of the stuff that they're doing on their own, the pass rush stuff. I even heard like, hey, man, really developed on how much better he got in the run game. Bottom line is Dylan Carpenter, from a lot of people, if you ask him questions, has been a really big addition, or not really big addition, but had a really big offseason. Can he translate that onto the field? I think I've mentioned this a little bit, but not in great depth. Jelani Watkins is somebody that I think, because of how fast he is and what he's done in track, people just are like, well, track athletes don't always make a good transition. Guys, he's going absolutely insane this summer. The speed alone, he's going to be a kid that you're going to have to test during August. You're going to have to test during September if you don't give him a play or two and let him run a go route. Him and Chris Hilton say, let the man go get it. Let him outrun everybody and see what happens. Can fully see that happening. Guys, speed kills. And you are so much faster than you were a year ago, specifically defensively. And I think Xavier Atkins is somebody that we have talked a lot about, so not going to mention him here tonight. But Xavier Atkins, can he be a guy that you can be in kick return and because of his speed can take one to the house? Is he someone you can just throw the ball to in a little pop pass, jet sweep, and see if he can get to the outside and make something happen? I don't know. But I know that speed is very different. You don't have guys that are that fast that can move that quickly. Kids are like 165, 170 pounds. I get it. I'm not telling them to be a 55 snap guy on offense day one, week one, year one. But he's somebody that I keep hearing over and over and over again. Now, we were gone to New York when Brian Kelly was at SEC Media Days, and I didn't get to mention this last week at the depth that I would probably want to because we just had so much going on. BK brought it up too and wasn't shy about it. And I think that there has always been somebody in the freshman class that might have just been a four-star kid, has the ability, but look at the way that you look at Caleb Jackson now. Guys, I am, and which we'll get to Caleb Jackson in just a moment, I am very impressed by some of the things that I've seen a little bit and some of the things I've heard about Jelani Watkins. Last but not least, somebody that I think is going to be the biggest riser for LSU in 2024. Guys, if you told me to put my mortgage or bet my mortgage on one LSU player being the ultimate game changer, the guy that really isn't getting a lot of preseason hype, a guy that no one's really talking about, is running back Caleb Jackson. Guys, the speed is there. The power is there. I think the vision is getting there. The flashes that we saw last season, the kick return against Auburn, the big-time play against Mississippi State, running guys over. Guys, I am fully expecting Caleb Jackson to have a big year. I think he needs to get the touches. I think you need to give him the football and get out of his way. I think at times you need to let him be a workhorse, maybe early in games, maybe even late in games. But, guys, there comes along a special athlete that's got the abilities that he does. This place has seen great running backs. I remember, 2003, that year that Justin Vincent broke out. I think of Joseph Adai. I think of so many great running backs like Darius Geis, God forbid, bless his soul, Leonard Fournette, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This place has gone through a litany of really good backs in the last 2 decades. I think Caleb Jackson is the next best one. A kid at 230 pounds, running, I think it was 22.7, 22.8 miles an hour, getting close to 23 miles an hour, is ridiculous at his size. Can he do some good things in pass protection? Do you give that role to Josh Williams? There are questions that he's going to have to answer. Can he be a back out of the backfield that can be a receiving back and get you some yards? But the speed and power combo alone is why I just feel like, look, we're talking about the wide receiver room. We're talking about the really good offensive line. If the O-line has the season that you and I think that they're going to have, and they're the best offensive line in the country, which a lot of us agree might just be, which one of those running backs is going to take up and step out and be someone maybe at the end of the year that you look at and say, hey, man, are they an all-SEC performer? Are they a first, second team all-SEC performer? Because I think that Caleb Jackson can be that. I'm hearing that maybe not obviously and clearly the biggest surprise, because I think a lot of people in that building knew that he was going to be really good. But if there's somebody that said, like I asked a question today to a couple of sources, and I said, hey, who is the person that you thought going into the season would have the most like preseason hype that we haven't seen enough of that would get it? Both of them said Caleb Jackson. Both of them said Caleb Jackson. Caden Durham's name came up in that too. But I think what he does is undeniable. I think what he's going to do is undeniable. I think you're going to rotate all 3 backs in. Good for you. But Caleb Jackson has certainly taken that role and went with it. All right. I need to do an Ask Blake tier 2. Get to a couple of your comments. So if you have thoughts, comments, concerns, put them inside the Rudy Crew chat. We'll get to as many of them as we can. Very quickly, I did not talk with you at great length about SEC Media Days and LSU being the 5th team. I know I'm a week late and $1 short here. Should have mentioned it last week. I didn't. Sorry. Guys, I think 2 through 6 is going to be a crapshoot. In case you missed it, LSU was picked 5th to finish in the SEC this season. I think if you're a team that was projected to go 2 through 6, LSU and Missouri being at the end of that, LSU at 5, Missouri at 6, I think that that's going to be a hodgepodge of commotion, and I think everybody in 2 through 6 is going to beat each other up. It's normally how it happens. I do think Missouri is better than some people are giving them credit for. Could they be 9-3, 10-2 yet again? Are they a borderline playoff team? Yeah, I think that they might be. Schedule is very favorable. I think LSU is the exact same. I think Ole Miss is in that realm too. So I look at where LSU finished. They got LSU more and a little bit ahead of the middle of the pack. I think that's about right. I did see that 2 people voted that Vandy was going to win the SEC. Some people don't take it serious. It is what it is, man. We let these people vote for AP polls and who's going to win the SEC. Idiots. Chad says, FY, those speeds would put him in top 5 recorded players in the NFL last year. I mean, look, man, that's not me saying that. That's LSU putting that out. Right? Like LSU's putting that out, not me. Anthony B. Saint says, Blake, run the hell out of them first 3 quarters to wear the defense down, then play action, Thomas and Anderson. Yeah, I don't know if you watched the show last night, Anthony. I don't know if Xavier Thomas isn't taking that role from Aaron Anderson. I don't know that. Joseph Austin says, pause, Blake, biggest riser. That's Joseph, that's borderline. I'm not with you on that one. Robert Collins says, Blake, think of the few years we didn't have corners. Those years didn't go where we're primed up for something similar, and those past rosters had better players on the outside of quarter thoughts. Yeah, I don't know. They did. D. Payne says Jelani Watkins on college football 25 is insane. He is. I put him at punt and kick returner year 1 because he's just so fucking fast. He's a 99 overall speed. And then I put him in a slot on a play action where he's just running a deep middle route, deep end route, and it's impossible to stop. Impossible to stop. And then I'll put him on a go route. He's impossible to stop there too. Danny Girl says, I know I would vote the UCLA coach as last in place in speaking at media days. If you need a good laugh, go watch at it. Yeah, I feel bad for Deshaun Foster. I really, really do. I do. Just not built for the media, man. You play UCLA too. I think you're gonna beat the shit out of them. But maybe Deshaun Foster can get his team up and they can play really well. All right. We will see y'all again tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Go play you some college football 25. Our good buddy Mark Scarbo is coming up at 8. Y'all should go over there and watch his show. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. Peace out, Girl Scouts.